Steven Stamkos once skated a silver road straight into Tampa sports folklore, 2 Rocket Richard trophies, back-to-back Stanley Cups, and a captaincy stitched into the franchise's DNA. Viewers can still picture him grinning under confetti, thrusting the cup toward the rafters in lightning blue glory. Yet fewer than 3 summers later, he zipped up a gold Nashville Predators jersey, a decision that felt less like a fresh chapter and more like a forced exile. Tampa's front office didn't just let their icon walk, they replaced him overnight with Jake Guentzel, signing the winger to a 7-year, $63 million monster while offering Stamkos barely half that term. Before we go any further, if you enjoy deep dive stories that take weeks of research, writing, and editing, smash the subscribe button right now. It costs nothing, but it lets us keep exploring hockey's biggest "how did that happen?" moments, starting with Stamkos' shocking exit. And trust me, what you're about to discover changes how we look at every aging superstar in the salary cap era. But first, we have to remember how flawless his rise once looked.
Here is Coburn plays the puck to Garrison up the middle. Stamkos fights to get open. Steven Stamkos scores!
At 18, he was all carbon fiber hope and teenage swagger, drafted first overall in 2008 with a shot so quick it looked unfair. By 21, he had ripped a 60-goal season, the youngest to do so since Pavel Bure in 1992, and planted himself beside the game's brightest scorers. He carried the Lightning through their resurgence, logged 500-plus goals, and cracked 1,100 points faster than any Bolt before him. His one-timer from the left circle became Florida's deadliest tourist attraction, and when Tampa finally raised the cup in 2020, then repeated in 2021, it felt like destiny fulfilled rather than mission accomplished. Yet destiny has an expiration date, and for Stamkos it started ticking the moment his body began to revolt. But that wasn't the whole story.
Wedge going, but 5 across. Filppula, Stamkos fires, scores!
A fractured tibia in 2013, a blood clot scare in 2016, core muscle surgery just before the 2020 playoff bubble. Each setback threatened to dim his prime. Somehow, each time he clawed back stronger. From 2022 to 2024, he strung together his healthiest 3-year stretch since his rookie contract, racking up 40-goal campaigns and proving that 30-something legs could still sprint with the kids. Analysts called it a late career renaissance. Teammates called it vintage stammer. The man himself just kept scoring. So why at that very upswing did Tampa slam the brakes on negotiations? The answer began with one phone call on June 30th, 2024.
Stamkos moves in. Markstrom waits. Stamkos, the shake and bake, and he scores!
General manager Julien Brisebois had a vision: lock up a younger top-line wing to flank Braden Point and Nikita Kucherov for the rest of their primes. Guentzel fit the timeline, aged 29, still a buzzcut of energy, and fresh off another 30-plus goal season with Pittsburgh. The Lightning surrendered futures, secured his rights, and unveiled a 7-year, $9 million per year contract while the July sun was still rising. Stamkos' camp waited for the matching offer that never came. What arrived instead was a polite but pointed proposal, 4 years at roughly $6 million per. Loyalty had met an Excel spreadsheet and lost. Local radio melted down, fans flooded comment sections with shock face emojis, and the captain's own social media fell silent. For the first time in his life, Steven Stamkos was heading to market. But was Brisebois heartless or merely reading numbers most of us ignore? To answer that, we dug into 15 years of superstar aging curves, and the results are brutal. We analyzed 38 elite forwards who dominated scoring lists between 2006 and 2015. Patterns popped instantly. Average production rocketed from age 22 through 27, plateaued to age 30, then nosedived at 32. By 34, the cliff was unmistakable. Even more eye-opening. Since the 2005 lockout, only 3 forwards older than 32 have lifted the Stanley Cup while carrying a cap hit above $5 million. That isn't cherry-picking, it's a flashing red light for every GM romanticizing the past. So when Tampa chose Guentzel's prime over Stamkos' resume, they were betting on math, not memories. Still, numbers feel cold until you attach real faces, and there are cautionary tales galore. Ryan Getzlaf and Corey Perry inked twin 8-year extensions worth $8+ million beginning at age 27. By 32, the Ducks' offense free fell. By 33, Anaheim iced one of the worst attacks in the league. Perry's buyout became inevitable, and Getzlaf retired after age 36 with one playoff series win post-extension. Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane cashed even bigger, $10.5 million apiece on 8-year deals. Chicago never won a playoff round under those contracts. Kane kept piling up points, but Toews' health cratered at 32, and his production never rebounded. Henrik and Daniel Sedin secured $7 million per at 33, hoping to chase one last cup for Vancouver. They managed a single first-round appearance before age, and Ware slowed everything to a crawl. Even exceptions come with footnotes. Alex Ovechkin finally captured his cup at 32, but Washington structured his deal around a late 20s peak and surrounded him with younger depth. As for truly late 30s heroes, the list is microscopic, and many, like Marian Hossa, carried front-loaded bargains by the time they hoisted hardware. Hossa's cap hit shrank as his income soared, and a rare skin disorder parked him on long-term injured reserve once Father Time tapped his shoulder. Patterns established, the narrative circles back to Stamkos, because Nashville saw all these warning signs and still doubled down. The Predators announced their splash. 4 years, $32 million for a marquee scorer they believed could electrify Bridgestone Arena and mentor emerging talents like Luke Evangelista. Year 1 delivered mixed signals. Stamkos opened hot on the power play, lighting red lamps with trademark one-timers, but 5-on-5 wheels looked heavier than expected. He finished with 27 goals and 53 points, a respectable line on paper, but a glaring negative 36 rating revealed how often the puck tilted the wrong way. The Preds missed the postseason by 6 points, and local talk shows wondered whether nostalgia had trumped analytics in Nashville's war room. Still, hockey hearts are stubborn. Maybe fans said year 2 would bring chemistry and a deeper roster. Yet the underlying question lingered. Did Tampa's cold calculus expose a truth the rest of us didn't want to admit? Lightning Brass weighed loyalty against probability and chose probability. They weren't disrespecting their captain, they were forecasting a storm only spreadsheets could see. In a hard cap league where every million can cost a depth defender or shutdown center, sentimentality is a luxury one teams rarely afford. Meanwhile, Nashville played a different game. They bought hope, ticket buzz, jerseys flying off pro shop racks, and the invaluable mentorship of a future Hall of Famer. It's a bet many mid-market clubs make when chasing relevance, and sometimes it lands. But history whispers a sobering statistic. Over 32 forwards rarely drag their new franchises to glory. The cap hit is too steep, the wear too real, the aging curve too unforgiving. So who wins this standoff? Math or legend? Lightning fans praying for a third banner without their longest serving captain, or Preds faithful dreaming that a golden jersey number 91 can defy every actuarial table? The next seasons will tell, but one thing is certain, the trade exposed a harsh reality every fan base eventually faces. Heroes don't get to bargain with Father Time. Steven Stamkos' story is equal parts triumph and warning label. He gave a city its greatest sporting memories, collected rings and records, and still saw his franchise pivot the moment numbers suggested decline. It forces us to ask, in modern hockey, is loyalty worth more than a realistic shot at another cup? And if loyalty wins, who counts the cost when the standings slide? Drop your thoughts below. Is Julien Brisebois a visionary GM or the man who might regret letting his icon walk? Until next time, thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, hit subscribe. We've got plenty more deep dive mysteries coming your way.